Hi everyone, welcome back to the second installment of Music Matters. It's great to see all of you again and great to have the opportunity to share some teaching and share some moments of healing as well. I'd like to call today's session Why We Sing, What We Sing, When We Sing It. If you've ever wondered why we sing certain melodies in the synagogue, especially on high holidays, a brief discussion today is going to explain why it is we sing those specific melodies on the high holidays. But before I get into that, I do want to start today with a moment of healing, a moment of prayer. In a moment, a video will appear on your screen with a recording of me singing Debbie Friedman's Misheberach, which we all know very well. And I would ask you today to think about all those in particular who are so brave and so courageous, those doctors and nurses and medical personnel all over our country who are sacrificing their own well-being on our behalf. So as you hear the Misheberach today and see the video that accompanies it, let's think about those who are putting themselves at risk for the rest of us. Take a moment.
Misheberach avotenu mekor habracha avotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu, mekor habracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
I hope you found that moment of music and visual artistry comforting and helpful. And in fact, when we say goodbye today at the end of our session, we'll show that video one more time. So now our session today, why we sing, what we sing when we sing it. The when and the what will tell us why. I want to focus in on just one prayer today as our example of why we sing what we sing when we sing it. The Baruch Hu is the first official prayer of every service throughout the year. A weekday, Shabbat, Friday night, Shabbat morning, festivals, high holidays. The real service, the real beginning is Baruch Hu. In sports terms, the Baruch Hu is like the kickoff in a football game, the tip-off in a basketball game, the umpires shouting out, play ball. It's when the real service begins. And because it's the official beginning of every service, the melody we sing to Baruch Hu defines for us the moment in time, the occasion, even the time of day. So I'm going to begin with a quiz. In a moment, I'm going to sing a version of Baruch Hu. Your challenge will be to name the occasion. And then for bonus question, you'll have to identify, is it morning or evening? So here's the melody for Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Misheberach. So the question is, what is the occasion that melody for Baruch Hu is heard? And the follow-up question, is it morning or evening? We'll come back to that at the end to give you the correct answers. Once the Jewish people have been dispersed from ancient Israel, they travel all over and find themselves all over the European continent. And we end up living in Germany and neighboring countries for nearly 900 years. That's 3 times as long as we have been in America. And during those years, those nearly 900 years, in Germany in particular, our synagogue music, the synagogue music of the Ashkenazic world, is formed, cultivated, formalized for all time. And there is a specific feature of German folk music and classical music, not to be too academic, it's called the leitmotif. It's just a short melody, not very wide in range, but it's identified with an idea or a thought or even a personality. And Jews who created our synagogue music during those 900 years knew this technique and applied it to our synagogue music. And the way it works for our synagogue music is a certain melody became attached to a certain occasion, a certain time of day, even a certain day of the week. So when we sing certain blessings each and every day, on a weekday, they have a certain sound. And when we sing those same blessings on Shabbat, they have a special sound for Shabbat. For instance, in the morning when we sing our blessings for the miracles of every day, on a weekday, they would sound like this. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasech vivina, lahavchin ben yom uven laila. That's for a weekday. On Shabbat, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasech vivina, lahavchin ben yom uven laila. Same text, same blessing, weekday, Shabbat. That's how it works in a nutshell. And over 900 years, these specific melodies became attached to every moment in every worship experience in the Jewish calendar. And this technique reaches its apex in the music of the high holidays. And I think one reason it is so powerful on the high holidays is because they only happen once a year. We only get to hear those melodies once a year. And I also believe that there is a great power and a source of comfort in these melodies because we all share them. In a sense, we're all in that moment together because we're all singing the same melodies. And those melodies have a deep memory for us. Imagine we're singing the same melody for Baruch Hu as we heard a little earlier. Thousands, if not millions of Jews all over the world, these melodies are so familiar and so deep. And when we hear them, it puts us in a certain place in time. That is how this technique works in synagogue music. It has for now many, many centuries. So let's get back to the Baruch Hu for a moment. If you answered that the Baruch Hu I sang earlier is for the high holidays, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, you would be correct. For the follow-up question, if you answered evening, you would also be correct. So that melody we heard for Baruch Hu, to review, Baruch Hu. That's the melody that we hear for the evening services on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. That means 3 evenings a year. Only those 3 evenings do we hear that melody for Baruch Hu, for Michamocha, for the Chatzi Kaddish. Only those 3 times per year. So I hope you did well on the exam. And in just a minute, before we say goodbye for our second session, again, we offer our thoughts and our prayers to all those who are in need of comfort, of support, and of real physical healing. And with gratitude, we close today again with the Misheberach prayer, reaching out across the miles to all those in need. Take care, stay healthy, do what we need to do to help our community and the world beyond. We'll see you next time on Music Matters.
Misheberach Avotenu Mekol habracha Avotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu, v'kol habracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,